Hello, 3D Gaussian splatting. If you're in the drone world or in the reality mapping world, that is a term you must have come across in the last 18 months. And if you haven't, well, this video will shed more light on what is Gaussian splatting and how does it compare to photogrammetry. Let's have a look. Hey everyone, I'm Varun from Hammer Missions, and in this particular video, I'm going to try and talk about 3D Gaussian splatting, this amazing new technique that's hit the drone world and the reality mapping worlds, and we're going to try and compare it to photogrammetry, which has been more of an established 3D processing technique over the last few years. We're going to look at why 3D Gaussian splatting is so exciting, why does it matter, when should you use 3D Gaussian splatting, and also we'll have a look at some of the differences with photogrammetry, because as we know on this channel, not every drone is suited for every single job, and similarly, not every 3D processing technique is suited for every job. And we need to understand all of these different techniques so that we have the right tool set in our tool belt when the right opportunity comes along. So let's have a look. So let's start with 3D Gaussian splatting and try and explain what it actually is. Before you watch this video, I would highly recommend watching another video where we compared LiDAR and photogrammetry. And in that particular video, I explained the differences between LiDAR and photogrammetry. And so in this particular video, I want to try and compare photogrammetry with 3D Gaussian splatting and try and explain the subtle differences that make one technique better than the other. So let's start with 3D Gaussian splatting. So 3D Gaussian splatting is a 3D processing technique where you take a bunch of images as input and you produce this really photorealistic 3D model. And the model is super photorealistic in the sense that it can model even really small details like wires or transparent surfaces or things like water that photogrammetry has traditionally struggled to model. And it's really important to understand why is this the case and what is the cost of this being possible. So 3D Gaussian splatting, the way it works is that you take all these different images and you try to approximate all these different Gaussians in a 3D space and try to understand what is the right color, shape, and opacity of these Gaussians. Now, what exactly is even Gaussians? And I think this sort of terminology makes it really hard to understand. But essentially, Gaussian in 1D is this sort of graph that you might have come across many times. Maybe, when you went through like school and you went through all this math classes, you saw these graphs where you're sort of looking at this distribution of probability, and Gaussian tends to be one of these distribution curves. Essentially, the technique relies on approximating the best color, position, and opacity of all of these different, let's say, pixels, even though they're not pixels, in the scene. And the way you do that is by essentially taking a known geometry, such as a sparse point cloud, which can be an output from 3D processing techniques such as structure from motion. And you take that sort of sparse point cloud and you try to essentially approximate what is the best way of rendering that point cloud when you're looking at the scene from a specific camera. I know it can sound very technical, but essentially it's slightly different to photogrammetry in the sense that in photogrammetry, where you would essentially have all these images that you sort of upload and they go through this sort of processing pipeline, the output is essentially a dense point cloud and a mesh. And the way that happens is that photogrammetry doesn't really use these neural techniques. It essentially uses this pipeline where you throw in your images, it creates a sparse point cloud by doing structure from motion, and then it creates a dense point cloud from that by creating depth maps, and then essentially allows you to create a mesh, which is this sort of object full of triangles and an actual sort of object that you can use in your 3D scenes. And so that has been the bread and butter for the drone world for the most part when it comes to creating 3D models and 2D maps. All of this sort of photogrammetry-based reconstruction. And in fact, I made a whole video on photogrammetry, so if you're curious about the details of photogrammetry, you should definitely watch that video. But essentially, there is this whole pipeline where you're using just basic math to be able to understand where all of these different points are in 3D space, and you're then trying to create a mesh, which is essentially an object made out of different triangles, and those triangles, as with most 3D graphics, have been used to represent the scene. On the other hand, Gaussian splatting does something different. It says, well, we're not going to actually create this sort of 3D mesh with triangles. What we're going to do is we're going to create this sort of really fancy point cloud where we're going to get this initial sparse point cloud from structure from motion, so getting images that have overlap between them and understanding where the key points are, and then essentially allows it to approximate what is the best shape, color, opacity, different parameters for these Gaussians that essentially describe an object in 3D space. And this is done for all of the cameras in the scene in real time as you sort of walk and navigate the scene. So what does this mean in practice? Well, in practice, this means that you get really photorealistic 3D scenes. And that's the exciting thing about Gaussian splatting. If you've got a particular scene, let's say that is all glass or all water or really thin structures, that photogrammetry can have challenges with because it's so different as a technique and really relies on getting these overlapping images for every single object. With 3D Gaussian splatting, you don't have the same level of requirement and you can get really photorealistic scenes with thin wires, glass, water, and all these different sort of challenges that photogrammetry has had in the past can now be addressed with respect to photorealism. So that's really cool. But then with everything that works really well, there's always a cost. So one might ask, what is the cost of using 3D Gaussian splatting? Well, because you're not creating a dense point cloud in a mesh in the traditional way, the cost of using 3D Gaussian splatting as opposed to photogrammetry is that you do sacrifice the actual sort of measurement aspects and the actual dimensional aspects of the scene. So essentially what you get is a sort of fancy point cloud, but that point cloud is essentially just trying to estimate or approximate how to render it with respect to the images and the camera positions, and it's not so bothered about the actual geometry of the scene. So if you have an application where you're looking to do measurements and you want to be really precise with those measurements, unfortunately, Gaussian splatting is not going to be the best sort of application for that, unless you combine it with something like LiDAR, which I can come to in another video. But basically, Gaussian splatting is more based on photorealism, and it's based on what you can see in the scene as opposed to what you want to measure from the scene. So if you have an engineering application or a construction application where you really want to make sure that your measurements are centimeter level accurate, you want to then use something like photogrammetry because it's actually building a dense point cloud and a mesh, which are actual representations of geometry and have some dimensionality to them that can be used to essentially power that application. So there is a cost, it's measurements, it's dimensional accuracy. However, the upside is photorealism. And so I think one of the things we need to keep in mind with all of these tools that are in our tool belt is that there are times when you have specific jobs and projects where you really want to get that photorealism. And so Gaussian splatting can be a great way to do that. And other projects, you really want to be precise with your measurements. And again, how precise? If you want to be ultra precise because it's an active construction project, maybe LiDAR is the best bet. Whereas if you're doing more of an inspection, it's an existing structure and you want to just get rough quantities and rough measurements, maybe photogrammetry is just fine. And so what we really need to understand is what is the right tool for the right job. Now, where can you use Gaussian splatting and how do you actually implement it? So there are a few different software programs that are now available to be able to create Gaussian splats. There are a few that have become really popular, things like PostShot and things like Nerve Studio and also things like Polycam are all very popular software. And so it's very, very accessible. All you have to have is take a few images, throw them in the software, let it render, and it's going to create a really photorealistic scene. What you need to do is just make sure you have some level of overlap in the images. You can even do some things with video, which is really exciting. And so throw them in the software, play around, and once you've played around with a few projects, it'll give you a good idea as to what you can and cannot do. In fact, what we're going to do in this video is that we're going to link a data set that you can use with Gaussian splatting with your favorite program of choice. And we're also very pleased to share that Hammer Missions will also be supporting Gaussian splatting for certain applications. So stay tuned for that release. We'd love to get your feedback on that. But till then, we have a free data set that you can download in the description of this video that you can use with your Gaussian splatting software of choice. And then the final thing I want to leave you with is to sort of understand, where is all of this going? Well, if you think about what's happening to the drone industry and think about all the different technologies that are coming through, it's a really exciting time to be in the drone world. And in fact, more so in the reality mapping world, because the cost of cameras has gone down massively. You've got sensors that are 1-inch full frame sensors with 50 megapixel cameras and more that can now be mounted on drones. You can have these DSLR cameras that you can just buy off the shelf and walk spaces with. The cost of cameras is so low and is so accessible than ever before. 3D processing has gotten so much better. If you think about photogrammetry, if you think about LiDAR processing, if you think about now Gaussian splatting, which is an iteration on top of all the nerve techniques, 3D processing is getting so much better year on year. Every 2 years is a new technique that just takes the world with storm. And it's only a matter of time when you're able to just fully reconstruct every single space in the best quality possible with measurements and having all that data at your disposal. And thirdly, it's no surprise to anyone, we are living in the world of AI. So AI can now take and ingest all this data, make sense of it, be able to give you those insights so that data is no longer data, it's actually action. And so it's a really exciting time, and 3D Gaussian splatting is yet another technique that is a signal telling us that this is the right time to be in this industry, putting all these technologies together and allowing people to make sense of that data and helping them derive value out of it. Hopefully you got some value out of this video. If you have any questions on 3D Gaussian splatting and how it compares to photogrammetry, or there are things that you're not so sure about and still doubtful about, please leave a question in the comments below. We'd love to get your questions on this. And we'll see you in the next video of Knowledge Hub at Hammer Missions.